Radio. I am your host, Agro, currently Witness 9 on the Steam blockchain. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the Minnow Town Hall.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you.
And now, coming to you from the classiest radio station on the air, this is
Minnow Town Hall.
Well. It's welcome to have you all here. Look at that. It's already happening. So I can see some people are looking at the Steam monsters and looking at their decks, and people are getting excited. We're going to talk about that stuff. We're going to get there. We're not going to get there right away, but we're going to talk about Steam monsters tonight. And I think that's going to make some people happy. Some people it's going to make really happy. Some people it might make uncomfortably happy. And I'm not going to say any names, but you guys know who you are. All right. So it's an exciting week. Not so much for cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency has not had a stellar week. Kind of staring here. You know, I like to. What do I want to do? I'm not going to do technical analysis because I don't know what I'm doing there. But what I can do is just sort of share with you some current pricing that I think might impact your lives. So here we can see, you can't see my screen. So here I can see that Bitcoin is hanging around the 7,321 US dollar mark. That's pretty low. I mean, our low, it looked like we bottomed out at 6,030. So we're sitting at 7,321. That's not the Bitcoin we all know and love. That's not the Bitcoin. It'll get there, but it's not there yet. Litecoin is having a bit of a cluster here. We're down at 118, almost 119, with lows around 116. Oh, it looks like maybe 114 was the lowest that we got there. So that seems to be having a little bit of a breakdown or a little bit of a challenge. It does seem like, you know, we spiked and then kind of came down, and we spiked and we didn't spike as much, and we were coming down. We're not coming down quite as much. Maybe things are improving there. I don't know. Steam is having itself a little bit of a shit-tastrophe. I mean, look, it's all relative, right? We're at $2.48. Now, to a lot of folks, that's not stellar. I mean, they're pissed off because it's not the $9 highs that we've seen. Although I would like to remind folks that we were at the we were at like 92 cents back in November. So even if we're not doing amazing right now, even if it's not the $9 that we all want it to be, we're still sitting kind of pretty. We're still sitting kind of pretty. 250 is not where we want to be. We all want to be higher. I get it. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying, you know, life could be worse. We could be under $1 like we were like 6 months ago. So I don't know. I see good things in our future here, but we'll move on. This is the one that hurts me personally. We're at $1.74 for SBD, and you know, I'm a big believer that when all of this stuff spikes back up and Bitcoin charges ahead, we're gonna see quite a bit of some action for SBD. And people think I shouldn't be like pumping a shitcoin like that, but you know, there's only like 11 million of these things in circulation. That's less than Bitcoin. When prices go up, I think that SBD is going to be one of the leaders. So maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. But so I guess that's my start of the day, the start of the show. I do think that Yabamat is going to join us here in the not too distant future, and I'm pretty excited about that. Because I do want to talk about Steam Monsters, because Steam Monsters I think has a good potential of being the single most popular thing on the Steam blockchain, at least in terms of apps. I mean, every week there might be some story that's more exciting, but in the very first week, I'm looking at my vessel, and I can see that we we sold I'm going to round 1.4 thousand SBD, and it looks like 730 Steam worth of Steam monsters. I mean, that to me is incredible. I mean, if I just round all this stuff to two, we broke $4,000 in the first week, and we don't. It's an alpha. I mean, you can hold the cards, and not a ton else. I mean, Yava's going to give us some of an update of where we're standing and what's going to go live next, and we're going to talk some about kind of plans. Because I gotta tell you, look at that dragon. Shane just got a dragon. God, the rest of you are so left out of this, and that's heartbreaking to see. But it's good. It's good to see. It's good to see that Kevin. I just posted I posted a story. I should probably go share this. Although I want to make sure that Yabba Matt's on board with some of these. Although maybe not this one because it's just what I care about and what I'm going to do. But here's a little script that I wrote. And on this script, I actually have a Kevin in there. I'm going to pull Yabba. So I have Yabba on air. I don't know if he's ready to speak or not. He doesn't have to if he's not ready, but he's at least here. Are you there, Yabba?
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. It's great to have you on the air. How are things?
Things are good. Just got my son to bed and hopped on with you guys.
Well, thanks. Well, that's good. I mean, we don't want to keep you up too late. So glad to get this discussion underway. I haven't done all that much. I've just basically stated that the game in its alpha week, because I didn't talk about this game. I know I talked about it some, but I didn't let anybody know that the thing was like capable of buying and selling cards until roughly this time a week ago. And between last week and now, we've sold over $4,000 worth of Steam monsters. How do you feel about that?
It's a little overwhelming. That's a lot of pressure now to get all this done. I mean, we have a really cool fighting system planned. So we just got to make it a reality now.
So have you gotten? So I mentioned that you're in on this, and that's on some posts. Have you been getting a lot of DMs about this?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, probably not as many as you, and a lot of them I've kind of referred over to you. But yeah, it's a little crazy. So I mean, I've always thought that this was going to be the case because myself, I feel like the audience that's into cryptocurrency and Steam has a huge overlap with these type of games, myself included. So that's why I've always kind of wanted to combine these two things. And so when you approached me about this, it sounded awesome, and it seems like that's the case. Everyone seems to be really into it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe how much people are stoked for this. It actually. So on the Steam Witness forum, I went and I was like nudging Andrarchy and basically saying like, people want their SMTs yesterday, and pressure. Like, I'm trying not to be rude, but I'm trying to get some additional response from them about that. And, I released this, and already within like a very short period of time, I'm getting emails, and the Discord that we didn't even really release publicly is like filling up with people asking me, when's the next update? When's the next thing going to happen? Like, it's wonderful that folks are so excited, but I suddenly can empathize some more. Like, that karma took less than 8 hours or like 24 hours to start feeling people being like, we want more. When is it ready? We want this. Make it happen. This is great, but do it now.
Yeah, I mean, the Steam team has got a much bigger task ahead of them than we do. Also more resources, but yeah, I mean, they really gotta get the scalability stuff handled before we can even start with SMTs and communities. I mean, just the requirements on full nodes right now. And I mean, some of the few problems that we've had, with some purchases being missed, on Steam Monsters is just, again, because the node is having issues, and there's really only a couple options for full nodes because it's so difficult to run one. So, if it sounds like they're doing, a lot of great work towards that end, but that absolutely needs to be done before we can even think of opening this up to a mass audience with many different tokens and everything.
Do you think we're going to need to run our own private node for this, like in the short run? Like, how far off from that are we?
No, I don't think this, most of this is off chain. So, because obviously Steam you can't write your own smart contracts like you can on Ethereum or EOS or anything. So that's not going to be a big deal here. But I've always wanted, and I've talked to some people like the Marky Mark and some other people that run nodes, like some guy 123. There needs to be, private paid nodes on Steam, just like a service, because anyone who runs an actual business on Steam, like Voting Bots or Steam Monsters or Busy.org or anything, should not be using a public node. They should be paying for a managed private node, with backups and failovers and all that stuff. So, that's something that I hope will come soon, just as part of, the growth of the Steam platform into really supporting real, production applications.
That sounds like that's up some guy's alley all the way. Like you already have the servers. Instead of renting them out individually to witnesses, you could start getting sort of teams together to purchase partial access to an RPC node to make it semi-private.
Yeah. So I talked to him about it. I mean, both him and the Marky Mark, it sounds like it's really it's very costly and difficult to run it, and neither of them were really that interested in it. And I already have like a list of 3 or 4 clients, myself included, who would pay at least a few $100s a month for this easily. And I think once AppBase is like done and ready, and some of these other things like RocksDB, and they're stable, then it'll be much easier to run these nodes, and then it'll be, kind of a highly desirable and profitable business for some of these guys to run this thing. So I'm looking forward to that happening, in the next few months, hopefully.
All right.
There was a question in chat about what the cost is of running a private node. Right now, you need a 512 gigabyte, server of memory, and Privex is selling that for something like $600 a month, and that's just to have one node running. But typically, if you're paying for something, you don't want to rely on one node. You want to have at least one backup in case something happens to that one. So you're talking about $1,200 a month, just for the server costs, and not including paying someone to monitor it and fix issues. And then also, if there is an issue, like replay times are getting ridiculous, up to a week at this point for a full node. So it's a difficult process right now.
Well, hopefully that's going to get better. I want to go back to Steam Monsters a little bit, because I know that we've attracted some audience for this. You said that you're like entirely, you just expected this to happen. I mean, I can't. I thought something like this would really catch on, but I didn't think it would be in like week 1. I thought that it would be slow. I mean, what comes to mind is that Andrarchy was saying during the Steam Witness Forum that we hosted yesterday, was that one of the best parts of Steam is just the way that you have this like built-in audience. So like if I tried to do this on my own or something, I would just have a website in the middle of nowhere that nobody had heard about. I think some of what's happening here is quite impressive, that like, I built an account, I built some following, I work with you, we build the project, we put it out there, and out of that million accounts, there's some 60,000 accounts that are active on any given day. And, I haven't looked at how many people bought this, but if we take, the minimum price of $5, I'm betting that the average user is spending maybe 10, and we had like 400 people sign up. I mean, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but, I'm guessing 300 to 400 people signed up for this alpha.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull up some numbers while we're on the call, which I would have had ahead of time had I not just got my son to bed. But Yeah, so I mean, I didn't necessarily expect it to happen like it has. I expected that there would be a big interest in the cryptocurrency community for games like these.
It,
But I also thought it might take a while. We need to get the game built out and running, before anyone really kind of jumped into it. So I didn't really expect the response that we had. If I did, I probably would have spent some more time like cleaning up a few things, to be honest.
is that because we're all a bunch of neckbeards that kind of hang out in the Christo space, and also that's what you find in the Magic the Gathering space?
I mean, I guess so. I just look at it like myself, and most of my friends and people I know who were, big Magic players back in the day, big Hearthstone players, and like we all also are super into cryptocurrencies. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there's a huge overlap in those communities.
Yeah, I again, I thought this would be popular. I didn't expect it to be this popular right away. I mean, I've gotten multiple people that have said they want to help us build out either the Discord, build out like marketing, build out. They want a partnership with us to go, do some sort of shared promotion. They want to do. We had one person offer up their son to go do some coding with us.
Yeah.
I got the I don't know what names I want to say because some of this I want to keep private, but also at the same time, like the Deacon Sloth came up to me. He's the guy that built Zapple. I didn't realize that he has a development team of some 37 people, and he said, "Look, this is a great project. We'd like to go work with you on it. Like, what's your development timeline? How do you want to do this? Like, how fast are you trying to go? Can we assist you in that?" And on the one, like, yes, yeah. I mean, I want to talk to you and talk through, what kind of help you want on the development side and what resources we want to pay for, what we want to outsource. But I also really freaking love the idea of having like a Steam development team that like anybody in the community could go to Deegan Sloth and contract to go get projects up and running, because trying to get projects up and running right now without, like, if you don't know a dev, then you're kind of SOL at the moment.
Yeah, I have tried to outsource some of this, and I have a friend of mine who helps me a little bit, but it it is difficult because I've tried to go to some like outsourced developers, and that's always difficult, and they're not also like, they don't have any idea what's going on with Steam. And it's really important because you can outsource stuff and you can give them specs and everything of what you want, but they're never 100% complete, and developers always have to make like just tons of tiny little decisions everywhere for how to do things. And if you're working with someone who's just not part of the community, doesn't understand Steam, and is just kind of looking stuff up in some documentation, it just doesn't end up with a good product. So if they have a team that's obviously already built applications on Steam, they understand it, they know the community, you just get a much better product much more quickly. And that sounds like a great option.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how so just to be clear, like, I've done none of the coding for this. We're the sort of like very basic level structure is that I'm here for like sales and business, and Yaba is here as like chief technology officer, and together I think we make a really freaking good team. But I'd be interested to hear, because, in part because I haven't probed too hard about it and just sort of leave it alone. But I'm getting a lot of people that are on sort of the dev side of like, how did you build this? What language is this in? How are you structuring this? What are you doing? Do you want to give some details? Like, you're welcome to keep that as private as you want. You're welcome to share as much as you want. Do you want to talk about like how you're developing this in language that maybe not experts would get, but or experts would definitely get, and sort of laymen might have some sense of what it is you're talking about?
Sure, yeah, and I definitely plan to make some posts about the development aspects of it, and specifically how it is incorporated into the Steam blockchain, because I think that's important for a lot of reasons. So yeah, I can give a kind of quick overview
Go for
now.
it.
Yeah, so I mean, generally, I try to keep things very simple, both because I'm kind of mostly working on this by myself and in my spare time, and just also because the simpler you keep it, the less problems you have. So it's a Node.js application, which means it's built in JavaScript. That's a fairly standard choice, and it's the development environment that I'm most familiar with. Um, and so there's a website and there's a server. It's built as what's called a single page website. So that means you load the one HTML page, and then everything else is just kind of showing different views on that page using JavaScript. So it doesn't reload more pages from the server, and that gives a lot of flexibility in that the entire website could be hosted off something like Amazon S3, which again, just keeping it simple, reduces hosting costs and things like that. And then the server side just has a few kind of simple tasks, I guess. It processes payments by reading the Steam blockchain to see when payments come in, and then it generates packs and any other, once we add the tournaments or card trading, it'll just handle all that and report the results to the website and to the Steam blockchain. So as far as the integration with the Steam blockchain, so some blockchains like Ethereum and EOS, you can build the entire game to run on the blockchain, and that's how something like CryptoKitties works. So it's a fully decentralized game, in that the code's on the blockchain, it's immutable, it's decentralized. On Steam, you
hold
can't
on,
do
those
that.
are built into
Yep.
smart contracts, right?
Yep. Anyone can build and publish their own smart contracts to those blockchains, which is great. And Steam doesn't support that, which is also good because Steam is application specific. So Steam only supports what's needed for content publishing sites like Steemit.com, and that makes Steam a lot better for that use case than Ethereum in a lot of ways. And there's obviously more about that in the white paper and blue paper for anyone that's interested. So in this case, if we want to build an application that we say is on the Steam blockchain, none of it actually really runs on the Steam blockchain. It runs on servers that we're hosting on Amazon, which is what I do recommend. Someone asked that in the chat. But as much as possible, we are publishing all the data on the Steam blockchain. So even though it doesn't run on the Steam blockchain, you can still verify everything that's happening in a public way on the Steam blockchain. So if you look at, if you go to steamd.com or any other blockchain viewer on the Steam Monsters account, you can see whenever you buy a pack, it publishes the ID of each card that you got on the blockchain using a custom JSON operation. So, in theory, if we, Agrod and I, left town and the game was, gone because we're not running it anymore, someone else could pick up, go through the transaction history on the Steam Monsters account and recreate the state of the game exactly as it was when we left. Now, we're not planning on doing that as far as I know, but, in theory, that could be done. So as much as possible, we're trying to utilize the Steam blockchain to publish everything and make it as transparent and recreatable as possible.
We use the private memo key to sign in. Do you want to talk about? You have some sort of novel introductions to the Steam landscape in terms of passwords and how we handle them. Do you want to talk about whether or not we store them or not? What passwords work? Why we use these private keys, and how you sort of came up with that approach?
Yeah, no, that's good. And I think there were some questions in the chat about that too. So, initially, I guess most sites typically use Steam Connect, and Steam Connect's a great service, but it kind of does a lot more than our use case. All we really care about is that to verify that you are the owner of the account that you log in with. That's it. So right now we don't need to post as your account. We don't need to vote as your account or anything like that. So if we use Steam Connect, it's a bit of overkill. And Steam Connect requires you, when you log into a site with it, to actually give an application posting authority on your account. which can lead to some issues like the Utopian hack that happened recently. And since we don't need any of that, I didn't want to get into that and then have to worry about having issues like with what happened with Utopian and everything. So all I really needed was just to say, are you the owner of the account or not? So to do that, the easiest way is to have our server encrypt a memo and send it to you when you go to the website. And then if you can decrypt that memo, we know it's you. It's that easy. You don't have to give posting authority to anything or give your private keys out to anyone. So when you go to the site and you log in, you can put in your private memo key, and all it does is decrypt that memo from the server, and that's it. It doesn't send your private memo key. It doesn't save it. We don't want to have your private memo key. But even in the worst case, if somehow your private memo key got out, it's just your memo key. You literally can't do anything except decrypt memos with it.
Yeah. So if you're
then the problem,
if you're writing poetry in hidden transfers, and it somehow gets leaked, somebody could see your love poems. But other than that,
yes,
there's not a
could
lot
see
to
that.
it.
Right, and then you just change your keys. So that, I mean, I try to go for, like, from a security perspective, I don't ever want to ask for any more information than we need, right? I just want to get the minimum possible, so there's the least security implications. The problem there that we found out early on was that most people don't know what their private memo key is or necessarily how to get it, which for the most part requires using your master password to log into steemit.com. So then I also thought, all right, we'll allow you to put in the private posting key also, since most people should have that. And again, it's not stored anywhere or sent anywhere or anything, but it just makes it a little more user-friendly. And I think it would be good for steemit.com when you sign up for an account to kind of give you all the keys at that time and maybe have a little FAQ of what they're used for. So hopefully in the future, most people will be able to get their private memo key easily. But
I thought there was a website where I could put in either my master or my owner password, and it would spit back out all of the other keys and have that be in a nice format. I'm sure
there is. I could put that in all the Steam APIs. There's a function to do that. Take the master password and generate the keys. So it's very easy. Obviously, you would have to trust putting in your master password into some third-party website, which is,
bad.
You shouldn't take that lightly. You shouldn't take that lightly.
Although, in this case, if we did it where, like, it wouldn't need a username, right? So you could have, like, a single web page somewhere where you would put in your master password, but there's no username associated with it. So you would conceivably have to test 1 million accounts, which I guess in computing land isn't that bad, but you would have to test 1 million accounts to figure out which one it actually was associated with.
I don't think that's true. I think you need both the username and the password to generate the keys. And even if you didn't, the master password can generate both the private and the public keys. So if you have the public keys, then those are published on the Steam blockchain for each account. So it'd just be trivially easy to look up which account it was for.
Okay. Well, this is why I'm not the developer here.
Yeah. So, I mean, the point is a lot of thought went into this and why we're not using Steam Connect. And, I have gotten that as a question a few times, which is great. If we want to go a little further into that, I think the best scenario is that we create a MetaMask style browser extension for storing your Steam keys and signing transactions. So Vessel is great, obviously the desktop software created by Jesta, but most people are probably not going to install desktop software. So I think a browser extension is the best combination of user experience and security that we have. And I've talked to Jesta about it a few times. I know he's really busy, but I would, if anyone's looking for a awesome project to do for the Steam ecosystem, I would say creating a MetaMask style browser extension for keys and transaction signing would be it.
are there other? I guess the other product questions that people are asking me. I want to get into sort of our game design and where we're going with this and what it's going to look like. But I do want to answer some of the product questions first. Um, do you want to talk some about the product roadmap and sort of where we think we're heading with what are the newest features? Like it sounds like you have another release that's about to happen, and then some of our combined priorities and sort of. I think we're in alignment. Hopefully, this is not us arguing on air, but hopefully, like I think we're pretty much in alignment. What do you see is going to happen next, and what are we building, and how are we doing it?
Yeah, sure. Just stop me if I say anything that surprises you. But um, yeah, so I've been working over the last week to build the system where you can combine your duplicate cards.
Hey,
Um,
did you sent me that image? Can I post that image of what we're thinking that'll look like?
Yeah, yeah, that's I mean that's what it's going to look like for right now. So go ahead and post it. So the idea is, for the people who have bought a bunch of packs, you probably have 5, 6, 10, 20, or whatever of some of the cards, especially the common ones. So the idea is you can combine the duplicates together to increase the XP and level up the one card. Um, So it's kind of like in Hearthstone, how you can disenchant cards for dust and use that to get new cards. So this doesn't get you new cards, but if you have 10 of one card, you can combine them together to get a higher level version of that card. So it's like two ways to level up cards. When we have the tournaments out, then when you enter them in the tournaments, you'll get experience based on how well you do. Or, if you buy a lot of packs, you can also level up your cards that way. And leveling them up will give them increased stats and new abilities and all sorts of fun stuff. And it was a little more involved to build this because I didn't want to make it you just combine all your cards or none of them. Since we'll have a market where you can buy and sell and trade cards, if you want, you might have your one card that you use, but you might want to combine like 3 other cards that you have to get the level 2 card and then sell that one separately. So here in the screenshot Aggie just posted, you see I have 4 of the water elemental, and 2 of them are level 2. So I could kind of like check the box. I could either combine all of them into one, or I could check the box next to a couple of them and combine them, and then maybe sell that one or trade it to somebody or something. So
Now,
hopefully it gives. Yeah.
if I combine a level 2 with another, like if I combine 2 level 1s, will I get a different experience amount than combining a level 1 and a level 2?
Yeah, yeah. So it just adds up the experience. So each card individually, so even a level 0 or level 1 with 0 experience is worth a certain amount of experience. Um, and then it just adds up the experience from all the cards. So if you have a level 2 with 10 experience and a level 3 with 20 experience, and you add them together, you'll get the card with 30 experience. So it's pretty simple, and it'll give you a little notification, which you can't see in the screenshot. This, like this will give you a card that's level 5 with X experience. Are you sure? And then you can say yes or no.
And then is there any way to like undo that if you screw it up? Are we allowing takebacks, or is this you said it was your final answer, this is going through?
For now, I have not implemented take back, so we can discuss that.
I mean,
about that.
Just as long as it's clear, I don't. I mean, hopefully people are responsible enough and they're not drinking and steam monstering and like just combining cards willy nilly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, in other games, like in Hearthstone, if you disenchant your cards for dust, I don't think there's a take back there. Maybe there is, but we'll consider it.
So how is that? That's going to be. You mentioned maybe this weekend, or like by this coming weekend. Like we can imagine that the card combining will be here.
Yeah, no, it's ready. I'm just hesitant about putting stuff out like right before I go to bed, so I don't wake up to a bunch of problems if there are. But
All right, so
tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. I think people will be excited to start leveling up their characters before they can even fight. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. and then not only can people post, oh, I got this epic or whatever, you can post, oh, I got a level 8 common, um, which who knows? And once the fighting and stats are all done, that might even beat the epic or legendary card
But especially because
at
it's probably
level
going to be
one.
hard to level those. Like leveling a common shouldn't be that bad. Leveling the legendaries is going to be like if you want to level your legendaries through buying legendaries, that's going to be an expensive legendary.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And we've, to let everyone know, the commons will have 10 levels is what we're planning. The rares will have 8 levels, the epics will have 6 levels, and the legendaries will have 4. Um, so kind of,
Some scaling
yeah.
involved. Um, okay, so that's kind of like the first. That's like Alpha 1.1. What comes next after we put together the card combining?
Right. So the next thing, I mean, we're working on the stats. So I'd like to release like preliminary stats on the cards because it's cool to see, kind of an idea of what these cards do, what kind of abilities they have, see them actually increase and get new abilities when they level up. We'll give a lot of caveats that that's subject to change, potentially before the tournaments start as we try to balance things. But I think that'll be great to see. And then the other big feature will be kind of a market for buying, selling, and trading them. So I think that'll just give the whole thing a lot more value and be a lot more interesting if you have the option to sell cards on a market, or if you like really want that gold dragon, you can just go buy it directly. And not only just buy a card, but you could also buy a leveled up card. So a level 1 gold dragon would probably be worth less than a level 3 gold dragon. So if you're leveling up your cards, they can be valuable even outside of the tournaments.
Um, can you give me a sense of what that's going to look like? The closest thing I can think of is sort of like the auction house in WoW. Is that roughly what we're planning for that?
So I was a big EverQuest guy, but kind of got out of that before World of Warcraft was big, so I haven't seen that. I was thinking just, again, keep it very simple. Whenever you look at card details, you just have a sell button, and you can maybe put in a price. And then there'll just be a market where you can just look at all the different cards for sale and purchase them using Steam or Steam dollars for net to start. But I'm open to looking at some other existing options and figuring that out.
What about U.S. dollars for that? Is that the kind of when is that something you think we would want to do early? Is that something you think we do later? How do you see trading for monsters in fiat?
So I definitely want to do selling of card packs in dollars, sooner rather than later. Not because I particularly want dollars, but more because it's a good way to help bring people into the Steam platform. So I really want to not only buy a card pack for $5, but maybe we could also include a Steam account with that, which would be really powerful, like to get people onto Steam. And like instead of just saying, oh, you need to pay money to have a Steam account, it's like, pay money to buy these cards for this game that you might do anyway, and then you also get a Steam account with it. And then as far as the trading or buying and selling with other players, it gets a little hairy because then we have to figure out like, oh, if someone sells the card for $10, then the buyer, we might have to kind of be an intermediary between like, taking those $10 from the buyer, giving it to the seller. So that might be more
messy.
involved.
Yeah, doing
Yeah.
the trading with Steam and SB only sounds a lot more convenient, and then trying to do, like you're saying, do the packs buying and selling with Steam, SBD, or U.S. dollars sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and the chat's talking about the delegation. So yeah, I mean, we might if you need a Steam account when you buy a pack, we might charge more for that, and that would then include either putting the Steam directly into your account or the delegation from an account that we have, maybe with some some steam power in it. So this isn't all figured out yet, but I think there's a bunch of ways. And also the 15 SP min, that's not really like a requirement. That is what steamit.com uses. But I think especially if we're getting people in and they're mostly just starting with the steam monsters, we could work with a lot less than 15 steam power delegation.
Yeah, I mean, I've been surprised. Like, we're not, especially right now where the chain is not super active. Like, if we get back to the point where, like, Steam is up at $8 and everybody and their mother comes back here to blog again, then 15 Steam power is probably not enough. But, yeah, just at least initially trying to get people up and running, I could see that working.
Right. I mean, if they just want to play the Steam Monsters game, they don't really need any Steam power because we're not making any transactions from their account on Steam. It would just be that if they move to using steamit.com or any other site to start posting, then they would need the Steam power. And we definitely want them to do that overall, but it can be kind of like a process. So maybe we start out and create an account with like a very little bit of Steam power so they can play Steam Monsters, which is what they came to do. And then, have some messaging about, if they want to go on steamit.com, ways to get more Steam power. Maybe just, you sell some of the cards you got on Steam Monsters for some Steam and power it up is a great way.
Now, we've also spoken about when trading happens, we are planning on taking a cut of that action. Do you want to talk about just what selfish bastards we're going to be about that, or do you want to talk about some of our alternative plans of how we're going to use money that we kind of skim from trading to go make a pretty freaking cool environment for the game?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I guess that's TBD, right? So we'll have that option if we need, and then we'll just take a small percentage of each transaction on the market, and we'll power it down, cash out, and move out of the country. That's not
the plan. All right, the plan is more.
Joking.
Let's try that again. The plan is not to move out of the country. The plan is to go take. Like Yama and I have to live and we have to eat, so we're probably going to take a portion of the portion that we take and keep it for ourselves and pay for development and pay for marketing and all this other stuff. But a good chunk of what we want to do is when we start the fighting, we want the fighting to be have some pretty big pools and have rewards and make it pretty freaking sexy to play here. So part of what we're thinking is somewhere between taking 5 and 10% of every card sale and then shoving the majority of that back into a prize pool, so that when you guys win a tournament, you're not just going to like get some cards from us. You probably will, but you'll also get like hundreds, if not thousands, of Steam.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having a good prize pool is what's going to make this game great. It's what's going to make, hopefully, the cards have value. So it's like, oh, I'm spending $2 on a booster pack, but I have a legitimate chance of getting a card that's worth maybe hundreds of dollars. Something like, I look at this like one day, it'll be like, oh, you have a, first edition Steam Monsters card. Something like if you had a, alpha or beta Magic card, right? And a big reason behind why these cards will have value is that they can be used to play in this game that has rewards.
So some people have been asking me, are we going to limit how many of these get made? Are we going to do things like cap how many of the of these legendaries of a certain type go out, or cap how many commons of a certain type go out, and then that's it? What are you thinking on that?
Yeah, there's no cap at the moment. I wasn't necessarily planning on capping it, but I would think as time goes on, we'll be releasing more cards, more sets of cards. And then at some point, we may stop, like the original sets might no longer be available. So it's not a specific cap, but it's, similar to Magic and Hearthstone. At some point, no more packs will be generated of these cards.
Okay. What about so a lot of folks have been talking about forming guilds already. So I was thinking about tournaments in a very like one-on-one sort of sense. I think a lot of people are interested in having some team combat, and not just with that, we're going to look for how do you get team communication, and then with that, how do you also get team trading? Because at that point, like, there's certainly the option where you're going to be like, I just want some money. I'm not part of a team. I just got a legendary, and I would rather have $100 right now than I would, this card. So I'm willing to sell this. There's the other option where you're like, all right, Yaba and I are on the same team. I want him to do well. I have the red legendary. He's got the green, but we don't play those decks, so we just want to swap. Are there going to be trades where we're not selling this thing at full price on the market, or is it only through the auction that we'll do this?
Oh, I definitely want to do gifting and trading, because that'll be a huge thing. I mean, I want us to also be able to give out, a gold dragon, at a contest or whatever, things like that. So, definitely should be able to give cards away for free or however you want to do that outside the market. Overall, it's kind of a point I want to mention. If you look at the screenshot that Agrode posted a little while up about combining cards, you see that each card has an ID number, which is the string of letters and numbers. So the idea, thanks for posting it again. The idea is that these are kind of one of the first non-fungible tokens on the Steam blockchain. So the idea is, even though it's technically not decentralized and we are running it, when you buy these packs, you actually own the instance of the card that you get, and it has its own ID, and that is yours. So that we don't control. I mean, unfortunately, technically we do control because we run the server, but as much as possible, we want to not control what you do with it. It is yours. You are free to exchange it at will, and it's recorded on the blockchain that it's yours. No matter what happens with us or what we do, that's always there, and anyone can go see, like, this card is yours, and you can trade it. So that comes back to what you were saying. Will you be able to trade cards with friends or gift them or whatever? Yes. I mean, you can do literally anything you want, even if we don't necessarily support it in our user interface on the website. One of my goals is to make sure you can just do it through transactions on the blockchain, to say, like, I'm transferring, this card to this account,
and Steam
which I think is a powerful thing.
Steam Monsters will just then provide, like, your average Steam user doesn't need to go report custom JSON interactions through the blockchain and blast those out. Part of what our sort of web interface will do is just make that a convenient action for somebody. So you want to hit, like, trade, and you want that ID, you click a couple buttons and it happens, rather than, like, I wonder how I do this custom blockchain coding to send this custom object to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. But on the other hand, I'd also like to make it so that you could do that custom blockchain coding to send it to someone else if you wanted. So it's, have both there.
All right.
And then you talked about guilds or
teams
or whatever.
So, I was a wrestler for a long time, and wrestling is like it is a solo sport, but you also have a team. So that have you played Clash of Clans? Have you done that?
Yeah, actually, some of this, I played Clash Royale even more than Clash of Clans. And some of this, my ideas toward this game were based on that.
So it's just the idea that, like, you put 10 people into a team or 20 people into a team where they're all entering the same tournaments, and then you sort of count up how well did everybody do, and then the teams that were doing the best then start getting some additional advantages. Maybe packs for them are a little less expensive, or maybe they get bonus packs or some extra XP to level. I don't know, but there could be, like, we could assign people into clans and then give those clans or guilds benefits as they are successful on the platform.
Yeah, I think it's just a great way to get people more involved in the game. When you're just there by yourself, it's not the same as when you're part of a team of people and they're kind of counting on you to do your part. It increases the retention a lot of the game, which I like.
What I'd love to see happen is turn our Discord into like a team-based Discord. So there could be general where everybody's flaming the shit out of each other. I sort of want it to be polite, but part of me doesn't. Like, if you want polite, go to the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty Network, and we're going to enforce some standards. If you want to go talk some epic shit, go into general chat and be like, I just fucked you up. How'd you like that? Probably not allow like racial slurs and really going extreme. But if you wanted to talk some shit, maybe there could even be a shit talking room. But ultimately, what I'm thinking is like we get some moderators. We allow those moderators to create individual channels, and then those channels could either be read only or public or however the folks want to make them. And those could be where the guilds meet. Like, you want to go recruit somebody to go be part of your guild or your team, you go there and you that's where you find them. That's where you communicate. That's where you talk strategy and lineup and trade with the people that are going to give you favorable deals and things like that. I mean, I could see that being like the best part of a lot of those games ends up being the social aspect. Like, I got friends that I got from Clash of Clans who were internet strangers 2 years ago, and now I've been playing with them for 2 years, and it's like, oh, my buddy's moving to Vietnam. All right, well, best of luck. Let's see how that goes. And somebody else is getting married, and like, these are people that I interact with who are otherwise internet strangers.
Yeah, I had that. I mean, when I played EverQuest many years ago, there was a group in France that I played with, and I was taking French in high school, and they would help me with my French homework. And as an interesting anecdote, one time they decided to have a little fun with me, and when I asked how to say some certain things, they told me what amounted to some not so pleasant phrases, which I wrote and then turned in as my French homework and got in trouble. But the point is, it was cool, getting to know people all around through the game.
Okay, so what do you? So we're gonna go do combining cards next. What do you think is going to happen after that? Is it the trading platform that happens next? Yeah, how hard is it, do you think, to go put people into guilds or form guilds and things like that? Like, what do you think is going to be the next level of this?
I would like adding the stats and abilities to be the next thing, because I just think that, like, okay, now you can combine cards and you can level them up and you can get cards, but you don't know what they do. You don't know, like, you don't have any like idea like what is a gold dragon compared to an animated corpse. You know what I mean? So I think even if they're not necessarily the final stats, I think seeing all the abilities and trying to understand what they do, and leveling them up and seeing what you can get, like, just kind of takes it to a whole new level, makes it more interesting and makes it even more exciting to get to the tournaments where you can start using those abilities and figuring out what groups of monsters work well together. So that's what I would like to do as soon as possible. And if you want, let me share in the chat a design we have.
I just put it in there. So that's the
there you go. Okay.
Malric Inferno. So this is sort of the idea that it's the level in the no. What's in the top left for the 5? That's the mana cost.
That's going to be the mana cost. Yeah.
All right. Are we going to go with mana or mana? I mean, this
you mean one end or two ends?
I mean, no. I mean, just when we're saying it, because I'm going to stick with mana. I guess you can say mana.
Oh, I say mana.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, tomato.
Is it GIF or GIF?
I think there's an actual answer to that. And
I want to know your answer. Anyway, all right.
I say GIF.
None of that's important. So I'm going to say mana. He's going to say mana. We're talking about the same thing here, people. So 5 up top is the mana cost. So in all the different tournaments that we're going to create, there's going to be a certain amount of mana that you're going to be allowed to use. So that you can't just, like, it's not just the number of monsters, although maybe there are some tournaments where it's just here's a number of monsters and there's not like a limit. But the idea is going to be that, like, we're going to allow for teams to be fighting. So you're going to have a summoner. So here's the background. Actually, I put this post in, so give me a second here. Sorry, guys, 1 second. So I have a post, and this is the first post that's on the Steam Monsters account. And it's just a little story, so I want to go read this. So, setting, house, living room, cast, Kiara, a young knight, Talia, a youthful fiery dragonborn, Kevin, a nerdy father figure, Scalvin, a dark demon attached to Kevin. And you can see some of the images of who these people are. So those three people are actually summoners. That it's literally me and two of my daughters. So some of this is inspired by some real life events here. So Kiara comes downstairs from off screen and sees Talia playing with someone in the room. Kiara, what's that? Talia, not looking towards her sister. It's an art project. Kiara, are you using my scissors? Talia, you left them on the table. Kiara, Talia, those are mine. Put them down. No! Kiara begins to glow. A rainbow aura emanates from her. Put them down. Talia has electric orange flames that jet out of her skin. I'm using them now! Kiara summons a clay golem that shoots a blast of clay at Talia. It splats some clay on an art project. Talia says, Kiara, look at what you did! Talia summons a pit ogre that smashes at the clay golem. Male voice. Girls? Kiara summons an air elemental that the vortex begins destroying everything in the room. It sends electricity that sears and engulfs the pit ogre. Talia summons a serpent of the flame that darts in and out to blast the air elemental with fire and scores a vicious bite. The air elemental shrieks. Male voice. Girls, stop fighting! The pit ogre lands an epic hit on the clay golem, smashing it into clay bits that spatter all over the walls. While bit by the serpent of the flame, the air elemental blasts the pit ogre with a spell that blasts it through the walls of the house. The obviously pissed off father figure enters the living room and sees the mess. Scalvin, he warned you. Kevin, I told you to stop. Kevin begins to glow. His eyes turn completely white. The room fills with smoke. A fire-breathing chromatic dragon enters the room, spitting fire and bellying out a cacophony of roars from various heads. The girls, the serpent, and the air elemental trip over themselves to retreat as the dragon sets fire to the house. Kevin and Dragon stand in the middle of a house burnt to rubble. Kevin, come on, big guy. If you're already here, it's best to get to the tournament. You better win, bud. My wife is going to kill me when she gets home. So that's my sort of general story of how this thing kind of like manifested. I saw my two kids fighting. I imagined them summoning monsters to go fight for them. And that's sort of where this idea of you would have summoners and the monsters, and they're going to fight one another. So when we get into the tournament style, what this is going to look like is that you'll have summoner cards, and those summoner cards are going to be able to summon a variety of different monsters. They're going to have a mana cost. The tournament itself is going to have a set amount of mana that you're allowed to use, and you are going to go in there and summon the various monsters to go beat the crap out of one another, and the teams are going to fight and eventually determine who the ultimate winner is for that day's tournament or that round. So that's the generation of this. What I'd really love to do is see that script that I just played out kind of turned into like a League of Legends style animation, or like literally some anime. I was thinking maybe hiring like Hyun's Dojo. Have you ever seen those guys, Yabamat? Do you know what Hyun's Dojo is?
No.
They're like an animation group that puts out some pretty funny things. I mean, here's
yeah, I would love that.
So here, Tai to Naserva is saying that they could animate that. I mean, I'm open to trying to get people to do this and maybe even paying you some money. Like, we should talk about that offline. But you know, I just see this as like, I want some story, and the story is, you know, basically my kids are magical beings that can go summon monsters to go kick the shit out of each other. And every now and then I have to go come down there and like stomp down with the chromatics to put everybody in their place, and kind of, yeah, it's going to burn the house down, but you know, we've maintained order. So that's some of the vision, but hopefully that vision hopefully that vision lets you like get a sense of where does the fighting come from? What is the storyline? Because if I switch out of like talking about product stuff for a second, like another thing that has been happening to me left and right is people want to know, like they want to know what's the background. They want a funny line on every single card. They want to know like what's this character's story. What's the land of red like? Like they want all of the, when I played World of Warcraft, there were people that could like talk about pages and pages, books of World of Warcraft lore. And I'm like, how the shit do you know this? That is like some PhD history research that you're doing about this video game, and they're already looking for that sort of thing out of this. So I'm looking at like all kinds of content creation beyond just the game itself, of really getting into what's the life, what does it look like to be a day in the life of a pit ogre? But that's what people want to hear apparently, and I'll give it to them. And I also think it makes for like neat jobs on the chain of like, all right, we need a lot of content written. Who wants to go write a day in the life of a pit ogre?
I would love that. I think that stuff adds so much to the games. I loved how on the Magic cards, when I used to play, they had like some little quote or text or something. It was a little bit, but I liked it.
Yeah, those little bits I definitely want to see get on the card. And eventually, I guess I want to go like tell the story of the mermaid. How did she get involved in this like tournament of champions or tournament of fighting? Or I think we maybe we call it the grand tournament. I don't know what we're gonna call it, but we need kind of a more epic name than the tournament of the day.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'd love to get some people involved to write some stuff like that. I'll definitely get it up on the site as soon as it's available.
Yeah, Fierstikin is saying he can do some character voices. That man can scream better than I can. So if I need a Kevin voice actor, that might be doing it. Yeah, I mean, I would love that. I think we're gonna go for origin stories of all these monsters and all these summoners, and we're gonna tell this shit, and we're gonna get some lore. I mean, we're a bunch of like nerdy storytellers. That's what this community is. This, like, not everybody, but like the active blogging team here are a bunch of like, nerdy theater geek that love to write. Like, let's go build an entire fucking world that Steam Monsters lives in and share that story with everybody else and make this thing like way more immersive than just here's some numbers. How did that simulation run? Who won? Like you want this to be like, oh my God, the Phoenix is fighting the spirit of the forest. Those two have history together. God, it's epic that fight happened. You want like some drama that's put into this. We want it to be soap opera-ish to some extent.
Yeah, and so I was just thinking as you were talking, once the tournaments are live and the fights happen, we're planning on you'll be able to see the results of the fight and see exactly what happened. It would be really cool to kind of incorporate some of this lore into that. So like you said, the Phoenix is fighting the spirit of the forest. So instead of just saying like Phoenix hits for 10 damage, just to throw in like a little bit of, some of the lore into the text.
Well, what would be amazing is to build in like, okay, so Claiborne wins the first tournament, and he wins the first tournament with a chromatic dragon, and he beat the spirit of the forest that was owned by Fierstikin. And so we go into this like, I don't know if we can get to the point where the story building happens from the characters and the people that are actually involved in the game. But if we're paying some attention and we have good stats on these things, we should be able to go come up with what the actual rivalries are between the teams and between the different colors and between the whatevers, because we'll have stats on it and we'll be able to go talk about, like, we'll build some content that comes out of player decisions and try to make that as reality based as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. And down the road first thing we'll get that. Yeah, just want to make sure everyone knows like all this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Right off the bat.
Well, that's the thing. People are already like, when do these things fight? It's like, motherfucker, this is an alpha. Like, give us like here's your first iteration. Like within a week, you already can go combine cards. So we're gonna like Yaba's not fucking around. He's building this stuff. We're looking to maybe add people. Like, you tell me. Should we be looking at Deegan Sloth and Zappel's offer? Like, seriously, should we be asking them to pitch in and go code a bunch of this shit for us? Is this?
Oh yeah, if we get, like I said, if we get some good people that are definitely familiar with the Steam platform, have shown they can build some stuff on it, I would be happy for the help.
Okay. Well, why don't you try to talk to Deegan and figure out what terms that you're both comfortable with, and then see if we can't make that happen. Like, see if it's a reasonable cost, and see if it's the work that you want done rather than the work that you want to do. And I'm up for that. But like your CTO, I think my plan is to try to build out as much as this character and lore and history and sell it and build stories and be actively posting like crazy and try to build the zeitgeist around this. That's what I want. And that way I can.
Yeah, no, I will do that.
So talk to them and let's figure that out. All right, so number 1, we're going to do combining. Number 2, are we doing the promotional packs next? Can we put that high on the priority list? Where like the Steam,
you mean to be able to like gift packs to somebody else?
Yeah, gift packs to somebody else, and most importantly, Steam Monsters itself being able to go gift packs. Because what might
so that's gonna go out with the combining cards tomorrow.
That's already done.
About so much I didn't mention it.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's really easy. So the idea is you can buy packs, then you can either open them or just enter another account name to gift them to, and then we can go and buy a bunch of packs on the Steam Monsters account directly, and then just give those out to whoever we want. And it's just booster packs right now, not starter packs.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. Forget about the starter packs. People are just going to have to deal with the $5 charge that we're asking. Eventually, like Hearthstone is $60, right? Like if you want to buy the intro game to Hearthstone, you're going to pay $60. We're asking for $5. I don't feel that bad about it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. We'll see. So far, it seems great. I also pulled up some stats. If anyone's interested.
Talk about do it. Yeah. Numbers are good.
So far, there's been 324 accounts, unique Steam accounts that have logged in to the site. There's been 573 purchases from 206 of those accounts. So that's, I have a game development background. Those numbers are just huge as far as engagement by players, which is just really exciting for this.
Well,
let me do a little math here.
I was excited about this game, but the level of excitement that the audience is showing is fucking through the roof. Like, we already have 300 comments on that one trending post, and most of them, it's split between people showing what legendaries they got, and a lot of people are already saying like, I love this. This is so cool. This is awesome. Like, it's just nobody's out here flaming me. Fuck it. Even Bernie didn't flag me. He likes to flag me when I send posts into trending. He didn't. Like, I think that's a good sign.
Bernie didn't flag you.
Yeah, it's got to be good. If it passed Bernie choosing not to flag me for sending a post into trending, even Bernie has to think this shit is cool, despite being mad at me.
Not just away for the weekend.
Yeah, maybe when I get back, or maybe I just mentioned it and I just jinxed it, and now he's gonna come after me. But that's okay. I fucking love Bernie. But here's to me, I've been floored. I've been floored by how excited people are. Like, I was excited before. I was stoked for this. Like, in some of this art, you'll see that it's from 2014. Like, in the post that I made, the signature by the artist is from 2014. So I've had elements of this in my head for like 4 years. So to see it get built, and to actually put this on the Steam blockchain, like my digital home that I love so much, like, that's really fucking awesome. But then seeing how everybody else is like really getting on board with the vision for the tournaments, the vision for the cards, the artwork, And I think the storylines and clans that will get into this. I mean, I think our audience is resonating with this vision really well. And one metric, like some of that metric is people are buying the cards and sticking with it and buying boosters. Like, again, we've made $4,000 in a week, and it's an alpha. Like, that to me floors me. When I made a Kickstarter game, I like the entire Kickstarter that was over like 45 days made, I think, $20,000. And in 1 week we are past that. In our first week we are past that, and it's not like theoretical purchases. I mean, people are here buying it already. Like, that's freaking cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, just so everyone remembers, a lot of that's just going to go right into the rewards for the tournaments.
Yeah.
So the more that people buy, the more that people spend, the more is going to be available.
Yeah. I mean, look, I can speak for me. I know that Yaba isn't there yet, but I'm pretty confident Yaba over time is going to figure out how to get in the top 20. Like, I look at this as like I'm having a blast and I'm doing my job promoting the shit out of this chain. Like, I'm not hoping to get like absolutely wealthy out of Steam Monsters. I just love game design. I love the Steam ecosystem. Like, I do hope to buy a car with this or something, but I'm not looking to like take again, when we were in that witness forum yesterday, they were talking a lot. The other witnesses mentioned quite heavily that the goal should be to go add value to the blockchain rather than extract value from the blockchain. My goal with this is to add a shit ton of value to this place, not look at this as a fucking cash machine. That's just not that's not the plan. I mean, the plan is to make it so that it's a cash machine for the users and for people to get inspired and to try to play with this thing. And ultimately, in some ways, like you mentioned, it's kind of one of the first SMTs. I know it's not an SMT, but it's kind of one of the first SMTs on the block.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a cash machine in the sense that hopefully it helps make Steam worth as much as it really should be worth, which just helps as a cash machine for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, if when when people are buying and trying to get their hands on it, so that they can get cards and get rewarded, and like there's a term, velocity of money, and velocity of money is just sort of like important economic turn. If we're seeing money coming in, money moving, we're like purchasing cards, trading those cards, and we're seeing a lot of economic activity, that is good for this ecosystem. That's gonna get people like fired up to see that there's a lot of transactions. And my ultimate hope, like my central thesis of all the witness decisions that I make, my central thesis comes down to, if we double the number of active users, we will quadruple the price. And yeah, the price of Bitcoin is going to heavily impact that, but the primary theory here is that all I want to do is get activity on this blockchain. That's how we all fucking moon. And I look at Steam Monsters as a really good way to do that. People are already jazzed about it. Let's keep them jazzed, and let's keep growing this thing.
Yeah, and especially getting people. One of the things I really want to focus on with this or other things is just getting people from outside the existing Steam community in, and that's where US dollar purchases will come in, because we definitely have a good user base here, but it's still relatively small, and that's once we really have a good way to get lots of people in, that's when it'll really start taking off, I think.
So do you think we're going to end up being one of like the first guys that tries to figure out using proof of work mining through Velocity to go mine accounts into existence, so that, like, is this a use case for that, where we're like building the accounts, sending them the passwords, doing that through mining to go make that free for us and free for them, and then maybe doing some delegations if they're buying enough like card packs or whatnot from us?
Yeah, I don't want to comment on that until we know exactly how that's going to work. But I mean, however it ends up working, I want to get lots of new people in. However we can do that. So even without the hard fork 20, I'm thinking people buy a starter pack for $5. Maybe once we release it, like the full release, we might charge more for that. So that's enough where we could put 1 or 2 Steam Power in an account for them, which again, I think is plenty, certainly plenty for them to play the game and maybe even to do a post or 2 on Steam. And then, hey, they have some Steam Monster cards which have value. So if they want some more Steam Power, they can just go sell those cards and tower it up. So we might not even need to be mining tokens or really doing much delegation to get people in, because we've already gotten past the biggest hurdle, which is spending money to create an account. So if they're already going to spend money because they want to buy these cards, we've gotten past that first big hurdle.
So, all right, so going back to the product timeline, because I actually want to make a post out of the product timeline. Thanks, Clay, for that. I'm interested. So we got promotional decks are out. We're going to have combining cards is out. So are we sitting down sometime tomorrow and like we're going to bang out what the stats should look like on a first pass?
Yeah, I don't know if I can commit to tomorrow, but I would like to do that, definitely.
All right. So we got to do that. Maybe we should go set up a meeting with the Deegan Sloth and figure out how much of this we want to farm out to him.
Yeah, that would certainly factor into the timeline. So we should do that.
Because we have like $4,000. I mean, I don't mind. I'm kind of wondering what can we get for $4,000.
Yeah, I mean, and not just that. I mean, obviously both of us have been paying for everything up until the last week out of our own funds, which I think both of us are more than happy to do. But yeah, whatever it takes, I'm excited to get this thing rolling.
Yeah, and I think our audience is too. Like, even I'm just sitting here in the show, you guys are buying cards. You're fucking awesome. Hopefully you guys are liking what you're hearing. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. This is the plan. We're not like, Yava and I didn't like fully discuss what we're talking about before coming on here. So we're just like, this is a bit of the executive committee meeting of how Steam Monsters will run. We just happen to be doing it publicly with all of our best friends in here. So hopefully that kind of, that's cluing you in into what this thing is going to look like. Okay, so we got to get the stats and kind of narrow those down. Are we going to keep creating abilities? Can I post what abilities we're currently thinking? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't know. I mean, I think we have a good amount of abilities, but I'm open to some more if there are good ones. I try to make sure we don't, like, each ability is unique and there's not abilities that are kind of, overlapping or stepping on each other's toes. But so if we get more cool, unique abilities, that would be good to add. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Did that post? It's showing up for gray as for me. Oh, there it is. So you guys can see it now? Can you see the thing I posted in chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're looking at the sort of 5 key stats, or like the 5 player stats are going to be attack, defense, health, speed, and magic attack. So attack is going to be how much damage you do. Defense is going to be how much you're going to reduce that damage, and we're going to have it so that the minimum damage done is 1. The health that your monster has is how much damage they've taken, and when they're out of health, they're dead. Speed is going to determine 2 things. Speed is going to determine who goes first, and then the second thing it'll determine is whether or not you're actually hit when a monster attacks you. And then we're going to have this thing called magic attack, and magic attack is going to be some guaranteed damage. And it's not going to be super high, but like the mermaid is going to be one of those characters that is a magic attack, and so it's going to be, pew pew. Every single round you'll get some damage done. This is our like starting list of abilities: First Strike, Flying, Trample, Regeneration, Void, Poison, Stun, Slow, Rejuvenation, and Blast. And so you can read some of these descriptions, but monsters with First Strike will always go first. Monsters that are flying are going to have a better chance of evading attacks from non-flying monsters. We'll have trample. Trample is like some of these are fairly standard, but like trample is going to make it so that if I kill Yaba's first monster, some of the damage that's left after I kill him will go on to the second monster. We'll have regeneration. So this is like a troll. Like if you are familiar with D&D, like trolls can regenerate. So like every round, yeah, they might take damage, but they can also heal some damage. Void would mean that they're immune to magic attacks. So you might want to get something that is void to go protect your like if somebody has a mermaid and they keep zapping you, but you're void, then you're not taking that damage. We got some venomous things, so I can see poison, and Yaba and I haven't totally agreed on this yet, but poison to me is something like the first time it hits you, you get 1 damage per turn from poison, and then if you take a second hit from a monster that's poisonous, now you're taking 2 points per turn, and if you get hit again by something that's poisonous, now you're taking 3 damage per turn, and eventually you die from the poison. Stun and slow, I think, are sort of obvious. Rejuvenation. So rejuvenation, we're still trying to figure out what this looks like. We're probably going to make it so that your monsters can only fight once per day. So rather than being able to fight, you have a legendary and he's awesome, you can't use him every day. You can't use him in every single tournament. You can only place him in one of like the 10 tournaments that day. The other option is to do, it might even be longer than that. And what we're thinking about for rejuvenation would be, I guess there's two ways we're looking at this. One would be like in the tournament itself, when you die, like if your chromatic dragon dies in the very first round, but your team wins, all of your monsters come back, but the ones that had died come back at lower health, maybe something like 75% or 80% health. But if your monster has rejuvenation, then they actually come back at 100% health. So you gotta strike it all the way down again. Another option would be if we don't stick with just the one monster in one tournament per day rule, and we make it so that like some of the higher mana cost monsters have a longer cooldown in between them, then having rejuvenation might make it so that they can regenerate faster and get back into tournaments sooner. So that's sort of one of the skills that we've talked about. And the last one is blast, where it's going to damage all of the opponents or other monsters on your presumably the opponent's team. Although it is sort of funny to think about blast affecting everybody. Thoughts on that, Yaba?
Yeah, definitely, and I'm fine with your idea for poison. Can I also add a few more that we had talked about, like the sneak ability and the kind of group abilities?
Yeah, go for it. Like again, to me, what I think Yaba and I's challenge is not can we put more cool stuff in the game. We got to balance between like, how much cool stuff do we get out there? When does it get out there? Like, do we build this into second edition? Do we build it all into the first? And that we're not going to quite solve that in an hour and a half conversation, but we're working on it. But yeah, any additional ones? He's got 5 in there. So why don't you talk through those 5?
Yeah, the whole idea behind these is something that both Agrod and I really want, is to have a good metagame here, and specifically, it's not just who has the best card wins, but it's who understands what's going on and organizes their cards in the right way. So all of these abilities, except for sneak, number 2, is the idea that it could be a monster that's kind of at the end of your lineup that gives buffs or to the rest of your monsters or debuffs to the enemy's team. So the idea is like these monsters kind of sit at the end of your lineup. They're kind of weaker in base stats, but they have these abilities that affect the other fights that happen in the tournament round. So you kind of have to think about which monsters you want to put where. And then the sneak ability is kind of where it adds the rock, paper, scissors element to it. So if everyone starts, putting some monster last that, that gives them buffs throughout the tournament, then you can put a monster with the sneak ability first, and then he'll attack that last monster and get him out of the way. So it's kind of like a rocks, paper, scissors with what people do, and you kind of got to guess what the best lineup is to win tournaments. So that's why I really like these type of abilities. And like Aggro said, we'll see if we get them in a V1 or later.
Okay, so in terms of product development map, it sounds like stats is the next thing on the list, making those visible. And then are we thinking trading next once stats are known, or are we thinking fighting is next? Or are we thinking like account creation stuff tied into this, and US dollars is next? Those would be sort of the three big ones that are on my list.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I'd like to have at least some type of releases on a regular basis. The whole fighting and tournament system is going to be the biggest thing to build, so I'd rather not go a few months without anything. So that's why I was thinking, put the trading system in there in the market, maybe put some type of team thing in if that's a new idea that we haven't really talked about yet. Maybe put some account creation and US dollar purchasing in, just so we can have like incremental smaller features that get out. But obviously fighting's the big one, the most important one to get done. So maybe we'll also look into if there's a way to do kind of an initial alpha tournament that's a little watered down and simple, just to get it out there more quickly, and then kind of do the big vision later on. So I don't know. That's something we should discuss and figure out. Also would come down to if we get some good help from DGen Sloth or anyone else for that timeline.
Yeah, I mean maybe we get him to go build the fighting piece of this, and we rely on them for that big piece, and we sort of like internally handle all the other parts around that.
Yeah, I mean that would be great. So I'm looking forward to talking to them.
Yeah. All right. I'll reach out and see if we can't. Can you tell me some times that you're free over the week? Not obviously not right now, but pick some evenings over next week or the week after, and then I will match what I can do and then pass that along to Deegan and see what happens.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that, off air.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So we talked about sort of product development map. I don't know what other aspects do you think that we need to touch on that we haven't thus far.
I don't know. I mean, I guess community involvement. I really like what you said about getting the lore and some stories, backstories, and things behind these cards. If we can get people involved to help create that. That just sounds awesome, and that's great stuff to just start to add in incrementally as we work on the bigger features.
Yeah, okay. So maybe I can go reach out either to the writer's block maybe, or just put a post out and start recruiting authors and try to get some folks to, to me, I would have them put out posts and then also kind of steal some of that post text and put that into like a lore tab, or like you go into the monster, you see their main icon, you can go under that to see their stats and see how the stats will change over time as they level, and then underneath that might be their backstory.
Yeah, and the posting is great because then obviously we can upvote it.
Yep. Okay. So one of the other pieces that's been on my brain is trying to get a Kickstarter going. When I made, so the game that I made is called Get Some, and it was a naughty game. The goal of the game was to get laid 10 times before you have 4 children. If you have 4 children, you are knocked out of the game and have to start over. So
I would be knocked out after 2 children, definitely.
So it's a silly game, but one of the funniest parts of that was, or one of the best parts of that to me was like people got pretty excited about being in the game. So two of the things that I've decided to like, or that I want to put into this are in the Kickstarter. I want to make it so that you could help us design a monster. Like if there's a monster from the Pantheon that you really feel like needs to be in there, then let's get it in there. And then the other piece that I think would be cool as fuck would be for people to have like get themselves as a summoner in the game. So like maybe you could go in as aggroed and have like your Steam name, or maybe we would being it like aggroed the Lightbringer or something, and like you would really try to fit that in or name it whatever the hell you want. But my goal is absolutely to try to like get people to in this Kickstarter that I hope to release sometime in July. Just make it so that people can actually get built into cards, and we will build them into the game. What do you think of that, Yeba?
I love that idea. Obviously, your name kind of fits well into the theme, also. So I don't want a card named like Joe Schmo, but definitely a card where someone's involved in creating the name and the design would be great to get some people to kind of commit some funds to help develop it and to get into the game. It just sounds awesome, and that's also kind of I think part of the reason why we only started with a small set of summoners, so we have room to add more in this way.
So there's the Kickstarter. We're gonna get I'm gonna try to get some more promotional pieces. Did you like the story that I wrote? Is that you're comfortable with that for some like maybe initial animation or anime or something like that we put together?
I would, yeah. So I didn't see the story until you posted it in this chat, but
well, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I did it
seeing it
3 minutes before the show started, right? Like hit send 3 minutes before the show started.
Yeah, it's cool, and I would love to see an awesome animation like that on the front page. I mean, I know obviously League of Legends has like really awesome animations, and I love watching those things. So that would be cool.
I want like an anime. I could see it really good as anime. I could also see like the League of Legends style cutout scenes. Though that could work too. I think that opening clip is somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds. So, and I have no idea what 30 to 60 seconds of cutaway animation clip would cost us.
Me either.
What's anime? What do you want to call it? Anime? Yeah. Anime. You guys want anime.
Anime.
Yeah, but what was the word that we were disagreeing on? Mana or mana?
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
Right, so I say mana and anime, and you say mana and anime.
Yeah, and I have an aunt rather than an ant. Because an ant is an insect. So, okay. I think that's... What else do you have on your list? What else? Are there other... We've done this for almost 100 minutes. Are we still missing major topics here?
I hope not, because I cannot have anything else on my list right now.
You're awesome. All right, wait. Here's Ty. Ty is telling me he wants to go build this. He's done animated cartoons. All right. Well, I can go work with Ty. I'd rather go pay people in Steam and SPD for this stuff. So, I don't know, Ty, go show me some of the work that you've done, and I'll consider it. Okay, so one of the people that we have in the audience here is a woman by the name of Clove71. Clove71 is apparently one of the top ranked fighters for Crypto Fighter. Have you heard of Crypto Fighter?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I have not tried it. Don't know much about it.
Crypto Fighter seems awfully like Crypto Kitties to me. So she can I didn't even know about Crypto Fighter until Clove71's husband said, "Hey, my wife is the lead of Crypto Fighter." So then I was like, "Oh, what's Crypto Fighter?" and started looking into that. It looks awfully CryptoKitties-like to me. I guess there's fighting too, but what I'd really like to do is bring Clove on here and just try to have a conversation with somebody that's using one of these blockchain games heavily already, and just see if she's been listening to, I think, nearly all of this conversation, and I'd be interested in just hearing from sort of a dedicated gamer, like what are we missing? And this is somebody that's already successful in one of these other ones. Like what would get her extra excited about this game? Does that sound like an okay next step to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we want to get, all those people also playing Steam Monsters.
All right, she's saying she's here. Hopefully we can hear her. Clove, I'm gonna bring you on right now. So give me a second to go click some buttons. All right, Clove, you're on the air. You're not muted. You should be able to speak into a mic, and we should be able to hear you. Are you there?
Hey guys.
Hey, you sound great. Yeah, but you can hear her too?
Yep, perfect.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Clove. I was pleased to get sort of a random message from your husband, and thank you for coming on to the show. You and I have not spoken. I don't really know much about you other than you've played some Crypto Fighter. I guess you have a Steam account, right? Because you're posting on DLive.
Yes, I'm Clove71.
All right. So do you want to? Which came first for you, Ethereum or Steam? Clove?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Which came first for you, Ethereum or Steam?
Steam.
So how did you hear about like Crypto Fighter? Like, what were you already looking for this? Are you already like playing Magic the Gathering professionally or anything? Like, how did you get into the sort of like nerdy card game theme thing?
That would be I started with CryptoKitties first.
Oh, so that was the gateway drug. So what excited you about CryptoKitties?
Well, I didn't last too long with CryptoKitties. It's very boring. And then I moved on to Crypto Fighters, and thank God I have Steam Monsters now.
So what did you like about Crypto Fighter? Because you're like number 1 or number 2 ranked right now in Crypto Fighter.
I'm number 1 with 456 wins.
I mean that's not nothing. What got you excited about that? Why do you like that? What parts of that game appeal to you? And then more importantly, what's missing?
The Crypto Fighters is very similar to the Steam Monsters. It's very addictive, and I love it, and it's exciting. And I see Steam Monsters going very, very, very far.
So what part of that do you find addictive? What part of that is fun? Is there much of a social community built around that right now?
Crypto Fighters is mainly, they're on Telegram. I do have I'm their moderator on Discord as well.
And what kind of, like, are they, can you trade those cards? I guess you can sell them. Can you just give them back and forth to your friends?
Yeah, you can trade them, you can sell them, you can gift them to people. I gift them all the time on my DLive show right now. I'm giving away free Crypto Fighters.
So how much is a Crypto Fighter worth right now?
Well, a general, that's say a level 1, that's the minimum, is about $6.
For a single card?
Yes, but that's just level 1. That's the cheapest for a general.
What's the most expensive card that you know of?
Most expensive is 200 Ethereum.
200 Ethereum. Why the shit?
They're not going to get that. They're not going to get that though. That's too much.
Why would anybody pay that? Other than like maybe if you're a millionaire and you have way too much money and you don't care, but like, are there rewards that you get in Crypto Fighter other than like more cards?
No, just the more cards. When you win a competition, then you receive one, and that's why I have over like 300 now. You acquire a lot.
Now, how are they set up? Do you fight once a day, more than once a day? How does that work?
You can fight as often as you like, but I like your idea. because a lot of people will put bots and things like this. So your idea is kind of good.
So actually, yeah, but one of the thoughts that people shared is like they really want dailies. So one of the options would be something like, here's the 10 PvP tournaments. Maybe you can also do some lower stakes PvE tournaments. And maybe they're not even tournaments so much as just like, here's a preset team that you have to fight. Send in your monsters to go kill them. And if you can get 4 out of 5 or 2 out of 3 of those fights, we'll give you a card pack that day or something. And that could be your daily quest. Thoughts on that?
I love that idea. That sounds great. I would definitely want to fight more than once a day.
Yeah, I mean, I think my goal would be something like 10 PvP tournaments per day, and then maybe not 10 PvE. I don't know. Yeah, but how do you feel about like a rotating list of preset monster team that you would send in to attack, and it's not like a whole tournament, it's just part of like your daily quest?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to give more options. I think just more stuff for people to do. We don't want people sitting around being like, oh, I want to do more stuff with this and I can't. So I guess the more we can give, the better.
All right. So what makes you sort of excited about Steam Monsters? What do you think that we're going to do that's different than what Crypto Fighter's doing? And how, if they're similar, what do you think would make Steam Monsters that much more appealing, or what can we do that would really like blow your socks off?
I mean, it looks great so far, and it's just like you said, your first few days, and it's on the Steemit blockchain. That's the number one thing for me right there. I prefer that a million times over the Ethereum blockchain.
Have you experienced? So I know it like, maybe the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum going down, maybe there's not quite as much activity. Have you tried to play Crypto Fighter on the Ethereum blockchain and then had like technical issues where like your smart contracts don't go through and shit because the blockchain itself is too overcrowded?
Yes, it's all beta, and like you said, the demand is crazy because it's you guys just started, and but it's a good idea what you had though.
But with like Ethereum, are you running into like your transactions don't go through? Is the network so busy that you can't play the game at times?
Sometimes that is a problem. Yes, that does happen.
I mean, one of the things I'm pretty thankful for is like, I know that we need to improve the infrastructure and we need to make it better for RPC nodes, but like, if I want these transactions to go through, they're going to take 3 seconds, maybe 12 seconds with what we have to do too. Like, we're not talking, I know very, very few challenges that we've had where like transactions haven't gone through. Yeah, but
and there's no gas costs.
Yeah, there's no like, yeah, you're not wasting money just paying.
Oh, that's great.
What about tournaments and things? Are there prize pools? Like when they generate these cards and they sell these cards to people, like do they just take all that money and extract it, or do they use that to do anything productive for the user base?
Not quite yet. They're still working on it. I think there's actually 12 developers on there, but Eli's the only main guy seems to be working on it, kind of by himself, and he has a full-time job, so. Yeah,
but does that sound familiar at all?
Yes, it sounds quite familiar.
Okay. Yeah, I can believe that. What is their revenue model? Like, how do you purchase a pack, or how do you buy the cards just from other players now, or do you buy them from like the Steam or the Crypto Fighter team or whatever?
They have a marketplace next to the arena on their site.
And do you purchase individual monsters or fighters, or do you purchase like packs of them? How does that work?
No, just an individual one.
So where do new fighters come from?
Word of mouth a lot.
No, not the people. I mean, where do the new cards that are the fighters like?
They do still make them. There's like a cap of 200,000 or something like this.
So at some point, there's not going to be any more crypto fighters?
A cap of generals, I think it was 200,000, and then they have the first colonel. But the ranking goes below that.
It sounds like the smart contract generates a set amount of Gen 0 cards or fighters, and all that money goes to the development team, and then as you fight and win fights, you get new cards that you can then sell to other people. So I guess it's similar to Crypto Kitties. They make their money selling the Gen 0 cards that are created via the smart contract.
Have you made money playing Crypto Fighter, or have you put more in than you've taken out? How has that worked for you?
I used my Steam money. I probably spent about $100 cash. And actually today I used, I think I had a balance of $50, and I bought a SPD with it and got some more Steam monsters.
So, but overall, are you making money doing Crypto Fighter? Are you spending money? Like, how do you think you've made out?
I've been breaking even for a while to play, and now if I sell some generals, though, I'll make a lot. If I haven't sold any generals really. So,
what do you think is the most valuable card that you have? Did you hear that, Clove? What is the most valuable card that you have?
Oh, right now would be one of my gold, a golden one. It's very rare. I have a few of those generals in there. Like I don't know. I'd probably say I could get like 140 for it right now, 150, 200. But that would be like instant. It's worth more than that if you wait.
So I mean, you've potentially made a bunch of money by playing this game at the time that you choose to sell off your 400 cards.
Yeah, it's like 300. Yeah, you sure do. You can definitely make a lot of money at this. I just haven't sold anything yet because I'm holding it.
Yeah. Hodl. You got to hodl your monsters and your fighters.
There you
Shit's
go.
going up in value, people. What would you want to hear from me and Yaba? Like, has this been a good discussion for you? Do you feel like we're talking your language and this is exciting? Or what else would you want us to... Is there any part of this discussion that we've missed that we should have been talking about?
No, this show has been great so far, and I'll be hanging out your Discord. I suggest everyone go to your Discord to, they're going to hear more from you.
Here, I'll go put a link in there. This thing is not like super heavily developed. There's not even like team leads or mods or anything. So it's a bit of a shit show right now, but whoops, not that.
Oh, you guys are doing great, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, not in the Discord channel. The Discord channel is just every random person that wants to show up. And there's no organization in there.
Will be.
But that's a Steam Monsters Discord. That's the official one. Apparently, some little shit-eating bastard has been, like, after somebody buys a card pack, has been sending them a message, pointing them to a different Discord than that one. I'm not entirely sure that's true.
Oh no, I think I did see something like that. I think he posted a message in yours. I'll go look for it.
God, what a little shit-eating bastard.
I
That's
thought
right.
that too.
Yeah, there's scammers everywhere, man. There's just always somebody that's trying to scam you out of something. But that is the official Steam Monsters. Go there, hang out, talk shit, go figure out some trading, get a clan going early. Like if some of the PAL people want to go start a clan, or if some of the PAL people want to be moderators and like interact with me, like I'm so fucking strapped that it's going to be hard to like genuinely moderate this thing. But if people want
I'll
to
definitely sign up for a moderator. Count me in.
all right, well, I'm down for that. Clove, let's make that happen. And I don't know if there are other people that want to do it, but and I don't know what I pay you. I'll probably help people get extra packs of cards for being a good moderator and getting people in there. Like I'd like to, I want to.
I stream also on D Live. You're on D Live right now, so you're going to get a lot of exposure.
Awesome. Well, I feel like I get a fair amount of exposure, but more never hurts, you know? Just, what do I want to do? I guess I believe in marketing and I believe in sales, and I guess I want my, the moderators to be sort of like, salespeople to some extent, somewhere between support staff and salespeople, and I want to incentivize them to get people playing monsters, and I want to incentivize them to keep people playing monsters. One of those is a sales role, one of those is a support role, and that's the dream because having this game, having this money, having this tool, I think there's a lot that we can do with this.
I hear you. It sounds great, and I'm gonna go sell my crypto fighters and get steam monsters.
Yeah, fuck those fighters, right? Ethereum. Who wants to be on Ethereum? It's so slow. It sucks. God, it sucks. Like I know EOS is gonna make money. I have no doubt in my mind EOS is gonna make money. And then when EOS hit $8, I was like, I'm so sick of this shit. I don't want any of these fucking tokens. They're such a pain in my ass, and I sold them all. And sometimes I regret that because they went up in price, but frankly, like, it's just not worth the freaking headache. Just, I want my transactions to go through, not to get kicked back, and I want my transactions to be free, not to be expensive, or like trying to game how much money I'm going to send with it. I don't know. So, okay. Yaba, do you have any questions for Clove? Is there anything that you want to ask? Like, we got a power user from another system online with us. What do you think you need to know from a product standpoint from hopefully our future customer, our current customer, and what kind of product related questions might you have for Clove?
Yeah, that's a good question. I already, while we've been talking here, I've been looking at crypto fighters. So I'm going to definitely try to understand a little more about how it works, and then maybe come back to Clove to get more details, as I'm probably not going to actually buy any and fight them. But so I don't have anything right now, but as I look into this a little more, maybe we could try to take some of the ideas that work for it.
Clove, are you on Discord frequently, infrequently? Like, do you live in Discord?
I live in Discord, yes.
Okay. So, I live in Discord. Yaba does not live in Discord, and that's good, because product people can't. That's like, this is just a giant distraction. This is a time sinkhole for Yaba that, there's no coding that got done in the last 2 hours. So, but yeah, hopefully can Yaba reach out to you? And if he has questions, is that okay for us to?
Of course, I'll be on your Discord daily as well.
All right. Well, when I get off the show, I can go make you a mod and you can be the first. I don't know if, again, I'm going to put this out there. Especially people from PalNet, if you guys are looking for a moderator role and you want to get heavily involved in this, please shoot me a DM or put something in the chat. Like, I'll be a moderator, and I don't know. I'd like to see people from here do that. All right. Well, I think that's good for now, Clove. Do you have any kind of final thoughts or anything else you want us to poke around with?
No, I'm super excited, and I can't wait to get. I got a few really good cards today. I can't wait to get some more rare.
All right, that sounds great. Well, Clove, I'm going to bring you back into the audience, and then we can go from there. Now, yeah, but that actually, this conversation reminds me a little bit. I think one of the things I would want to add is that if somebody buys 20 packs all at once, we guarantee them a legendary. And maybe it's a little bit more or a little bit less than that, but that 20 packs is 100 cards. The drop rate of a legendary is 1 in 100. So I feel like if you bought 20 packs, you should theoretically get one legendary. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, from the odds, I think it's a little better than 1 in 100 at the moment. So you should definitely, statistically, you're likely to get a legendary, but it may not happen. So I do like the idea of, if you commit to buying a large amount of packs, you get something special. So yeah, we'll think about that.
Okay. I think we should go gift some packs to Clove for coming on air with us and just talking through that with us. Does that sound all right to you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want, to wait till tomorrow, then we can do actually gifting packs
Yeah.
through the site UI.
That'll work for me. What would I do for that? Do I sign in as Steam Monsters? Do I sign in as Aggroed? What do I do?
Well, yeah, you can give the packs from whatever account you want. If you want to do it from Steam Monsters, you log in with the Steam Monsters private key, buy the packs from that account, and then you'll have an option to gift them. You just type in the Clove's Steam account name.
All right. So I said for this show I was going to go gift 50 packs, 50. So I'm planning on sending 10 to Clove. That sound okay to you, Yaba?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
All right. So Clove, thank you for coming on the show. Sometime tomorrow you should get hooked up with 10 free booster packs for providing some thoughts as like a starting place for acting as a mod. And does that sound like a good gig?
Thanks so much, you guys.
All right. Well, folks, that was Clove. Clove, I'm going to bring you back to the audience. I think that's a pretty healthy discussion around Steam Monsters. Anything else you want to add for tonight, Yaba?
No, that's all for me. I'm gonna hit the sack right after this.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, well, it's getting to 11. This is when my brain goes to mush. But that, all right. I feel like we're in a good spot. I think that it seems like the audience is mostly on board with what we're sharing. It sounds like one of the power users from a competitor is excited to be here, and I don't know. It sounds like we're ready to roll.
Yeah, it couldn't really be going much better than this for a new product release.
Yeah, I'm fucking stoked. So let me go I gotta write down. It was Clove 71 gets 10 packs. Do you want to, before you go, do you want to go figure out some hoop to jump through to go get 10 packs for that you would claim?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Give our users a short quest or something, and the first one to complete it can get another 10 packs. We got 40 more packs to give away, and I got an hour's show left. So I figure we'll play Dice Bitches, and people that win Dice Bitches can go get 10 packs. But I want you to... I'm giving you the authority to give away 10 packs in a manner of your choosing. What would be your choosing?
That's a good question. Do something for yourself first. Give away another 10 packs, and I'll think of something.
All right. For right now, I'm going to go play some Steamium music. I at least have a song from Azaria queued up here somewhere. So I'm going to go play a song by Azaria. And then after that, I'm going to... Shit, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. So this is from her track Ruins of Isa, or Ruins of Isa, and it's Veil of Shadows. So I was going to go play this on air. You hope it's not your new one. This is 7 hours ago. Why can't I play the new one? She's saying, oh no. All right, well, somebody needs to go give me some Steam music. Is Swoop here? Where's my boy Swoop? Somebody can go give me a song, please, that they've created that they want to go share with this audience that they are okay with me using for this. And then we're going to go play some Dice Bitches. And it is really dark and creepy, but that's the music that you make. I don't know. People like dark. Look, Azaria, this is happening. People are going to like this. So we're going to do this, and if you'd like to, we're going to play Dice Bitches. Sim Girl, are you here? Can somebody post the rules for this? It's in the pinned messages. So we'll get the rules. The gist of it is I'll use a command to roll dice. I'll get a number. You can then go roll some dice. If you get higher than us, or if you tie or beat my number, you can roll in the next round. I don't see anybody. I guess I got to go through the pins myself. Where is this damn thing? I don't know where my own rules are. It's hard to be me. Maybe, how do I find dice bitches? No, you can't combine them yet. Whatever. Hopefully you guys know how to play. Just roll after I roll. Use the same command. And if you roll lower than me, don't freaking try to roll again. You only get one attempt per round to beat me. So I'm going to start the song, and then we're going to get this thing going.
For my thing, does it have to be a Steam or Steam Monsters related thing to give out the 10 packs, or just anything random?
You can make it anything random, but we got to stop talking for the next 5 minutes because we're talking over her song.
All right, I gotta go though. How about I'll message you the question and you can do it.
Perfect.
Whenever you're ready.
Steam It Open Mic, week 86. My name is Lily Wilton, and this is a piece called Bacchanal, and I hope you guys like it. Thank you so much for watching. It's been 2 days since I've seen sunlight. I've grown accustomed to the taste of night. Walking into a hotel room I shouldn't be near, and there's a burn in my throat from last night's whiskey and beer. This is the church I never asked for. This is the church that I was made for. You can join too for a hefty fine. And if you don't have the cash, then your soul will do just fine. Watch out for my siren call. And welcome to the Bacchanal. Only one way to live your life. All alone or one man's wife. But I crave something more refined. Don't you worry about me, the misfits and I do just fine. Watch out for my siren call. Welcome to the Bacchanal. Oh, Mr. State Trooper, please don't you stop me. Oh, Mr. State Trooper, please don't you stop me. They try to keep me small, so I let out my siren call. They try to keep me small, so I let out my siren call. Thank you so much.
I really like it when Lily does the little tippity tap stuff. I think that's why I keep going back to her music. Tippity tap, tippity tap. All right. So Azaria sent me a song. So the universe responded by helping her win the last contest. So we're gonna play Dice Bitches one more time. Here's another song by Azaria. This one is called "There's Something Wired Wrong in Me," and this is a 4-day-old D sound post. And I guess you don't also have this on SoundCloud. So we'll see. It looks like this is going to go okay. Let's try this. This is There's Something Wired Wrong in Me. And we're going to go play Dice Bitches again. So I won Dice Bitches. When I win that game because it's so heavily broken. We play it again, so we'll go play this thing again, and we'll see how that goes. All right, there's something wired wrong in me by Azaria. Starting again with 10d10. Everybody is back in the game.
It's not how I wanna be. It's not how I wanna be.
All right, it looks like I still need some more songs, so I'm grabbing one by Soundwaves Photon. This is called Diamond Eye. Here's a track. Alrighty, so that was Diamond Eye. I got just all you need to do is get the highest roll, and you'll be gifted 10 packs. That's a $20 value. I mean, I'm giving away $100 tonight. I hope some people like that. So get your rolls in. I'm out of music again. Although I don't think that I need music. I think the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hang out for another 40 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Are there folks, if you want to come on air with me and discuss something, promote something, I kind of want to go back to the normal format for the show and just give people that have issues a time to talk about what's on their mind. Let's see. 64, not going to do it. Who's the winning run right now? There's a 74 for Amand Artis. Is there another 74? I'm stoked to give one of these to my Venezuelan buddies. Only one roll, bud. Only one roll. Please only roll once. Who else can beat a 74? Anybody left? Oh, is there a tie? Oh, Peachy's got a 74 too. Oh, that's going to be a roll-off, I bet. Well, I'm going to give like 20 more seconds for people to go roll, and then we can go do a roll-off. I guess, I do have 20 packs to give away. I could just give 10 to Amandaris and a 10 to Peachy. What do I do? It's so tough to know. Do I let them fight it out? Do I make it 20? Give 10 to each? I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. It's Thunderdome. All right, you know what? Let's go play this for all the marbles. Peachy's telling me Thunderdome. 2 ladies enter, 1 lady leaves. You girls can both roll off on the 9s, and the winner will get 20 packs for this. So please just roll your T-Dice 99. This is for 20 packs between Peachy and Amandaris. And the winner, it's winner take all. You don't have any. Well, that's your problem. But that's 20 packs. That's $40. So, that's something. All right, ladies, come on, get your rolls in. Peachy 99. Amandaris 99. Let me show you the command just so everybody knows. T-Dice 99. Put them in. I gotta figure out what this is because I need to get to the next segment of the show, which is inviting people on here. So there's Amandaris, and then Julia. Can we get your roll here, please? No, you are not rolling, Graylin. This is only for Julia. Julia is your left. Julia, are you gonna roll? What are you doing, man? There we go. 38 to 47. All right, Amandaris, the lady from Venezuela, Amandaris, is getting 20 packs. All right, so that's my, man, the ladies freaking killed it tonight. 40 of these packs went to women. Freaking amazing. I didn't rig this. I didn't do this. This is just how it naturally happened. All right, so this now is going to go back to the normal show format. We get about 40 minutes where, actually it's down to 30 minutes where you guys can talk about whatever you want. So are there people that need to come on air, people that have projects they want to talk about? You're welcome to talk about Steam Monsters and its impact on you and what you might want to do or whatever. But just tell me if you want to come on air, and we'll go drag you on air and you can talk about it. I see Johal. Brother Johal has been supporting me forever. Fierstekin has been supporting me forever. If either of you guys want to come on air, you're welcome to. Team Steam, we got a couple really fucking epic whales in here. Otherwise, oh man, I missed a bunch of Steam Monster stuff. Yeah, you did. You missed it, bud. Can you ask what an MSP whitelist is? Sure, Fee. That's a pretty good question. So we want to cut down on the amount of spam. I think at times there's a real legitimate concern that the Minnow Support Project, despite a lot of the good that it does at times provide support to people that are otherwise abusing the reward system by putting plagiarized content and things like that. And one of the ways that we've dealt with that for the past is we've built the most epic freaking blacklist out of anybody. We have over 4,000 people on the blacklist. And we've done that to try to make it so that the people that are upvoting, we know that they have good content. They're not part of multi-accounts, and they're not shit posters. Like we don't want to support that. But we also have literally 20,000 people that are in this server. It's quite a bit. So part of what we're also trying to do is make it so that we want it so that people can get whitelisted, not just infinitely fighting spam, but whitelist people so that they can get on. And all of the mods are sort of working on this behind the scenes to put this together to make sure that, like, look, as long as you are not posting like a soul image, and as long as you're not posting shit that gets hit by Cheetah, then you're probably going to make it to the whitelist. And when we have a whitelist, we're going to make it so that hopefully there's fewer votes that go out. All of those votes are worth more, and that there's a lot less spam that we support, and the people that we do support are legitimate users. We're probably going to do things like either a rep cap, a follower cap, or a Steam power cap. I mean, how we do this exactly is going to evolve. There's not one set answer to this. The goal is to make it so that the free public bot is going to the best use that we can do. Oh, it's a massive undertaking. We are manually going through the 20,000 users that are part of the Steam or a part of the Minnow support project to determine, is this person a shit poster? Are they a dead account? Are they a good quality poster? Are they posting in a different language and we don't really know? And then we have to go spend all this time figuring out. Like, it's a manual process for 20,000 people. It's probably going to take us a couple months. But the whole goal is to make it so that as long as you are not purposely abusing this bot, your vote should go up, and the value of that should go up, and it should make it so that there's less spam that we support, because we don't want our money going to multis and other things. So that's what the whitelist is. I guess we were supposed to keep that a little bit under wraps, but I actually think I'm proud of this thing. I want people to know that we're doing it. I think it's actually one of the best things that we can be doing to make it so that, if you're a legitimate user around here, you're not competing with all the people that are trying to steal votes out of us. He got drunk and spilled the beans. That's actually great, Ron, because Crimmy was saying that I was the one that spilled the beans. So they're asking in the other Discord how long the pre-sale will last. The pre-sale is basically for Steam Monster. The pre-sale is going to last until we get into beta. The beta is when you can fight. I have currently pegged beta as being sometime in September, and that's based off of Yaba just doing all the coding in his off hours by himself. And I don't think that's going to be the case. If he's comfortable with Deegan and we'll set up that meeting, my guess is that we are going to farm quite a bit of that over to Deegan. And if that's possible, then we're going to get this a lot sooner than that. So that's the plan. That's the objective. I can't promise you what the exact date will be because this is a product roadmap, not a product guarantee. And we are sort of driving along this path the best of our ability. But the worst case answer, I think, is going to be September, and I'm hoping it's going to be quite a bit better than that. Other questions? You can ask me witness questions. You can come on air. You can talk about Steam Monsters. You can talk about Minnow support project stuff. You guys can ask me anything. This is and you can come on and read some of your work. If you're a singer and you want to perform, you can do that. I'm happy to have you guys on here. However you want to engage with me and engage with this audience. If you just want me to play music and call it a night, we can do that too. No, don't start conversations with Banjo. I do not like the new Pokemon. He's savage. He's a damn savage. Banjo's freaking killing me. Oh, Banjo. I'm going to kick Banjo off my server for that. Oh, my feels. All right, there's nobody that wants to come online. Nobody that wants to go talk to Aggie. Nobody that wants to share some thoughts of what's going on. No questions about Steam Monsters. You know, you guys can promote yourselves. Like there's no limit here. I don't want to keep people up. I'm sort of out of stuff to say. Well, I got my. I talked about the Steam Monster stuff. We talked about the whitelist. That's probably the biggest happening for. That's probably the biggest happening for the Minnow support project. I guess I should say we're also waiting for Crimmy and Follow. Those two have been working for a couple months now on building a replacement bot. Some of that replacement bot is not like the original bot that's been doing some upvoting for folks isn't working perfectly. Some of that is after Steam made some changes to the API, and so we've been having issues. So they're recoding a lot of things. So some of the votes aren't quite working. Will I do a Steam Monsters only show? Yeah, I could see doing that. Actually, I was laughing with my wife. I was telling her my I want to make my job title on like LinkedIn or something like I'm a monster trader. That's what I do for a living. Like I don't know if that's actually possible because I really don't want to just sit here and take money out of the blockchain. But if I could figure out a way to like have this be a good supplement to my income so that I could be a monster trader, I would freaking love that. So, you know, before the fighting starts and the prize pools and all this other stuff happens, do I think it's going to be a Steam Monsters only show? No. But I could see doing something like that. Yeah, I'm like I'm a monster pimp, monster provider, monster something. But that would be like if I could do this full time, you know, just I guess I can. I just don't. You know, like Bitcoin's low, and I don't want to spend any of my Steam because I feel like it's gonna cost me a freaking fortune. Like first off, I'm nearly at 100,000 Steam power, so I gotta go look at this thing. My Steam power is sitting at 99900.9. I'm 100 away from 100,000 Steam power, and I delegate 84,000. So my goal is a monster mogul is a good term. I like that. I delegate back. So I'm like, I just want to see this place grow. I want a different world than the world that we have, and I'm willing to spend whatever money I can to make that happen. So I want this monster game to be a draw to the Steam ecosystem so that other people can sort of see this is how we can have nice things. This is how we have a world that isn't like run by the bankers. This is how we have a world that is filled with better opportunities and one where we don't have to harm other people to get good stuff. So that's the dream. That's where I'm trying to head. But I do like if I could get some money out of this, and it seems likely because you guys have bought an enormous amount of cards. I'm just shocked by this. 1.5k SBD, and what is that? 740 Steam. Let me go put those numbers down here so that you can feel them too. 1.52 thousand SBD and 180. That's 740 Steam. Somebody want to convert that into US dollars right now? Because I'm not looking at pricing, but I think that's over $4,000. I mean, you guys are nuts. This is a game. But, you know, my goal, on the flip side of that, my goal is to make it so that all of these prize pools start having real money attached to them. Like, I dream of the day where somebody could look at me, and as much as I am a monster mogul, you guys could be something like, oh, I am a professional Steam Monsters player, and I made $200,000 last year. Like, I would love for you guys to be able to, like, earn serious amounts of cash in this. And the way that we'll do that, like I said, is by working with the trading system and skimming off the top of the trading system to then sort of have that happen. But I'm pretty excited for that. You know, I think that there's big opportunities there. So yeah, I mean, maybe people are making thousands of Steam dollars by playing this game. That's my goal. All right, other questions. We got 25 minutes left. Who wants to come on air? Who has questions about Minnow support? Who has you guys are just monstered up. That's fine. I'll talk about monsters all day. Yeah, I think it has enormous potential. You guys are the ones that are showing me it has enormous potential. Like I just want to build a game. Like I told my wife a couple years ago, I was like, look, if I could just be a writer and a game designer, that would be like my dream life. And here, I think of myself as a professional blogger. That's a lot of what I do. This witness gig is pretty sweet. Like, it pays me a bunch of money, which I mostly just give back to the Minnow Support Project. How many people bought Monsters? We have like somewhere around 300 people, just shy of 300 people that have bought Monsters. Yeah, I mean, this is my dream. Shit's actually happening. So I'm stoked. Nobody wants to go on air. All right, well, I'm not here to force you guys to go on air. I'm thinking I'm gonna call it a night. You don't know how to get on air anymore. You actually are a witness in here. You just force your way on air and say, "Hey, Aggie, we need some Team Steam." I can drag Team Steam in here. Look at that. Yeah, I like the elephant. Originally, that thing was just a rock, but somebody, Yabba must have had that card changed so that it's an elephant it's holding, and I think that's pretty funny. Because I didn't do that. I like that. It's not my art. I hired a guy out of Fiverr who is an exceptionally talented artist for a lot of this. But it was a rock holding a rock, and then it was a rock holding an elephant. Now, why I don't know. There are a couple of these decisions that I don't quite agree with, but they're already here, so I'm not going to fight them. But like this giant rock, like that was to me supposed to be sort of like a more badass card. Like if you're badass enough to lift up an elephant, I don't think you should be a common. The other one that they did as a common that I wasn't like really expecting was the T-Rex. I was thinking like the T-Rex was going to be the height of the green deck. That would be one of the highest cards, and yet they made that a common too, and they called it Rexy. So little Rexy is like a little common. Maybe it's the little common that could, but I was just a little bit surprised by that. Someone buy me some monsters. Swoop, you missed all the action because I gave away 50 decks. You could have been here. You just came late. Yeah, I thought it should be at the top of the food chain, just like Oda just saying. All right, guys. You guys got to give me. I'm going to give you one more minute. Actually, it's 11:38. So when we hit 11:40, I'm going to bed if nobody wants to go come on air, because I'm not here to just like speak some jibba jabba. I gotta get up. I got work to do. I have an endless amount of work to do. So who wants to come on air? Last chance. You get one more minute. Just DM me or put something out there. Yeah, reseller on Steam just made as opening. Like a lot of people are making money, like buying the packs and then opening the packs. That to me, I think is hilarious. Like if I can help you guys make money with Steam Monsters before the game even exists, maybe you get money from D Live for opening your packs and showing what that looks like, and you get hooked up with like a 10% vote from D Live, and you make more money on the video opening the packs than you did on the packs. That's sort of a dream come true. All right, we got like 30 more seconds, and then I'm Jalang. Jalang card. Yeah, that would be pretty funny. I gotta make it not that naughty though. People gotta be. I gotta be. It's a family-friendly game. My first game that I made was all about getting laid. That was far from family-friendly. This one, I'm like putting my kids in it, so I can't make like sexy little nymph cards. That's not the plan. Yeah, look at that. D Live upvoted her stream of Steam Monsters today. So there we go. Clove is making money by buying cards and opening the cards and showing people that. This world is crazy. What we've built here is so freaking insane. All right. Well, I feel pretty good about this show. I hope you guys are happy too. You've been listening to Monster Cards are now on CoinMarketCap. Yeah, we're going to the moon. I mean, it's again like Yaba I think is onto something by calling it really one of the first SMTs. And like what we're using, like these custom JSONs, that's kind of what they're using for the SMTs themselves. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm glad you guys are stoked. Um, so, anyways, here we go. I'm gonna call it quits. Nobody wants to come on air with me. That's totally fine. I'm glad that I hope that you guys are stay excited. I hope that you guys are really enjoying. I got cut off. No, that's when the live stream cut. Hopefully, I'm still here. Am I live again? I didn't die. I don't think. I've had 747 drop frames, 0.1%. Can anyone confirm I'm back? Confirm I'm back. So someone other than Ron. Yeah, you can still buy cards. It's back. Okay. So I'm just saying goodnight. I guess I could have gotten cut out then. But it's been a fun night. I'm glad that you guys came here. I'm glad that you're excited. Please go share the news about Steam Monsters. Please keep buying packs. You know, Yaba and I are going to take some money out of this to go sort of like live off of, pay for things, and have fun with. But a lot of that money is going to go straight back into like the monster fighting reward pool, and hopefully that's going to be. I mean, I'm really trying to make it so that the first tournament is going to be worth 1,000 SBD. That's what I want. Like the first big tournament day. We're not fucking around. I want you guys making money off of this. I'm not taking all the money from this. I'm going to give it back to the freaking community like I do with all this other stuff. Johal, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for supporting my witness. Thank you for helping me. Like, actually, if you guys don't know, Johal, when I started doing some of my like truther posts on the platform, Johal was one of the first people to go support me. And he has been supporting me with a witness vote, like, almost since it wasn't immediately, but he's been there supporting me forever. Like Fearsticking's been there supporting my witness forever. I'm insanely grateful to both of them. I wouldn't be in the top 20 without them. Just flat. That's it. Who's Jahal? Yeah, the Jahal files. Like one of the most badass curators on the entire freaking block. He's here. He's listening. Apparently, Steam Monsters can pull him into Discord. I haven't seen that. I've seen him in here for a couple of the not Steam Monsters, the Steam Witness panels. But apparently, Steam Monsters is cool enough to do it. Well, thanks, Jahal. I mean, I'm working my ass off trying to make this place better and trying to make it entertaining enough so that people want to come back. And here's the thing: like, if you can't make any money posting, fuck it. Just come here and go fight some monsters and sell some monsters and do your dailies, and I'll make you money in other ways. That's fine. Like maybe English isn't your first language, and maybe you don't have a big network. Let's go find other ways that you can make money off of Steam. So that's my goal. I'm gonna get, I just want all the minnows to be rich. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna keep working on it. Keep trying. You guys are awesome, and you deserve it. So that's my plan. All right, Ron. I'm gonna call this thing quits. I'm gonna say goodnight to the many minnows, to the whales, to the dolphins, to the mods, to the team. Spread the word. Share some monsters. I'll pass out some packs tomorrow. And thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening. I hope that you learned a lot about Steam Monsters and that you liked the vision. And actually, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna go put some like social media, what I do, scavenger hunts. So I'm going to call it a scavenger hunt where if you want to go get like 5 or 10 packs, we're going to make it so that if you're posting this stuff out there, I'll pay you to promote. I'm just going to go pay you with Steam Monsters. And hopefully you're excited for that. So anyways, I'm calling it quits. Good night, everybody. Much love. You've been listening to the Minnow Mayor Town Hall. It is 11:45 Eastern Daylight Time on May the 27th. I'm calling it quits. I hope you have a lovely Memorial Day. Be safe. Don't get too plastered. Although keep in mind, you can't drink all day if you don't start early. So thanks all for doing this, and I don't know. Good luck. May you get many, many sweet, sweet legendaries. Aggroed, currently Witness 9 on the Steam blockchain, signing off.